This was a bad idea. Chloe had known it was a bad idea the moment Karen's email pinged up on her phone, inviting her to Allison's bachelorette party. She'd even known it was a bad idea when she'd replied to say she was free on that particular weekend and was super excited to attend. It still felt like a bad idea. Yet, here she was, in a car only half an hour away from the secluded cabin near Salt Point, where she would spend a long weekend with 4 girls in their early to mid-20s, most of whom she didn't know that well. It could be fun. It could also be an absolute nightmare. She reached over and fiddled some more with the car radio's auto-tune controls, turning her nose up at the tame middle-of-the-road music she was met with. It sounded sort of familiar, but these sorts of songs always did. Man, why do they never play any decent music on the radio these days? Rob, in the driver's seat, didn't take his eyes off the road, but Chloe noticed the smirk playing across his face. Maybe it's not just the music. What do you mean? Chloe asked, twisting around in her seat to look at him. Rob shrugged. Well, from everything you've said since I picked you up, it sounds to me like you might be wearing a pair of shitty glasses. What? I'm not wearing glasses. Not actual shitty glasses, Rob continued. Metaphorical ones. It's like we always see life through the frame of our own internal experiences, right? So, some days when everything that happens to us feels shitty, the music on the radio, the fact that they didn't have the soda you wanted at the last gas station, that you're going on a weekend away with people you don't know that well, then it's important to remember we're adding a lot of our own baggage to the equation. He glanced at Chloe and his smirk grew into a smile. The outside world is pretty neutral. Often it's not what we're looking at that's shitty, so much as we're looking at the world through shitty glasses. It's our own thinking about things that colors our experience of it. It's just something my therapist said to me once that really stuck with me. Chloe had been readying herself to argue, but Rob made a good point. She had been feeling negative about this weekend, and it wasn't fair. She liked Allison, and even if she didn't know her that well, and the others attending the weekend even less, they were no doubt lovely people. But there were other reasons why the prospect of spending 4 days in a log cabin surrounded by trees, wildlife, and lakes made her stomach twist in knots. She watched Rob for a few moments, wondering if she should open up about what was worrying her, but decided against it. She didn't want to open up that can of worms now, not with Rob. She hadn't spoken about her past for many years. She wanted to keep it that way. So what do I do about these shitty glasses? She asked. Can I take them off? Hopefully, Rob said. But the first step is acknowledging they're there. Chloe smiled. Good old acknowledgement. It's always the first step, isn't it? You know it. Rob laughed, and Chloe did too. She reclined in her seat, her gaze drawn to the window where the early evening light bathed the landscape in a stunning pale orange hue. With a bit of effort, she realized, she could perhaps muster a sense of excitement. After all, escaping New York's chaos for a few days, leaving behind the relentless stress of her daily routine, was a welcome change. By now, they had definitely left the city behind, having passed the threshold of civilization at least 20 minutes ago, and the view outside the window shifting from houses and buildings to an expanse of trees and lush greenery. They'd been traveling along the Taconic State Parkway for over an hour at this stage, heading for Clinton Corner, where they would take Route 115 to Salt Point, and then a series of smaller winding roads to the cabin, assuming they could find the cabin at all. From the map Karen had provided, it looked to be in the middle of nowhere.